Today on Sports Betting Truth, we're going to talk about the number one losing failed sports betting strategy of them all, which is paying for picks. Now, the thing with other failed sports betting strategies is that you're only going to lose once, and that's whatever you lose betting with, right? But when you pay for picks, you're basically losing twice, because not only are you paying for the privilege of these losing picks that you're getting from touts, but you're also going to lose betting with those picks. So it's like you're losing twice. Now, if you've watched a lot of my videos, you'll know all the common gimmicks and scams and tactics that touts like to use to get people to pay for their picks. And I don't care how good a tout says they are at picking games, it is never worth paying money for picks, ever. It's a lot better off to do your own research and implement your own methods to be profitable long term, because I can guarantee you 100% you will not profit long term paying for picks. Now, what I've heard a lot of people say is that I have a wife, I have kids, I have a job, I have a life. I don't have time to put in the effort to build a model or system or whatever to win money on sports. I don't have time to do the research and everything, so that's why I want to pay a trusted professional to help me find games to bet on. And I understand that. I understand that completely. But the problem is, how do you know these trusted professionals are any good? Because if you watch my series of videos on common tout gimmicks and smoke and mirrors tactics and all that, they employ a lot of sleight of hand techniques in order to make it seem like they're long-term winners, when I guarantee you most of them simply do nothing more than flip a coin and do a quick basic write-up on the game to justify the pick that any idiot could go to a box score and look up and use to justify why they're on a game. The write-ups make it seem like they know what they're talking about, but in reality, the write-ups are pretty basic. And even then, even if the write-ups made sense, a write-up is not a good way to analyze a game, because whatever the write-up says is going to be reflective of whatever the internal biases of the touts are. That's why you need a model or a system, because a model can look at everything relevant in a short amount of time. You don't have the time. Nobody has enough hours in the day to be able to look at every single relevant thing for every single game that you want to bet on. And that's what a model does. I've also heard someone justify paying for picks saying, well, I don't really care about winning or losing. I just want to have fun watching the games and have something that motivates me to watch a game that otherwise I wouldn't watch. I want to be invested in a game. And that's fine. I understand that, but you can do that without paying for picks. You can do that by just flipping a coin and being on a side of a game. Why would you want to pay somebody to do that? And then they'll say, well, I enjoy their write-ups and their perspective. Like I said, any idiot can read a couple of box scores and write a very convincing write-up as to why they're on a side. I could easily find a game and write convincing write-ups on both sides. Easily. If you've ever watched my pick videos or anything, I don't really go into detail about the games. I simply say my model is on it, because that's all that really matters. But paying for picks is a strategy that way too many people have used over the years. And it started back in the 80s and 90s with 1-900 numbers and television commercials and all of that. But now it's evolved to the internet. The internet took touting to the extreme. And now any idiot can start a website or Twitter account with a Patreon or GoFundMe or whatever to legitimize their tout operation, as long as they can hit a hot run. But I cannot come up with any scenario whatsoever in which paying for picks is a viable sports betting strategy. And by viable, I mean something that's going to make you money in the long run, because that's the point of this channel. The point of this channel is long-term profitability. If that's not what you're interested in, then maybe paying for picks might be for you. But if you're interested in actually profiting long-term and having a chance to do that, paying for picks will not get you there. Because profiting long-term is very difficult. And paying for picks is like tying an anchor around your neck and jumping off a bridge. It will give you zero chance at all to survive. Paying for picks, just another failed sports betting strategy. And not just any failed sports betting strategy at that. It is the number one failed sports betting strategy out there. Just put in the time and effort to make picks yourself. And compared to paying for picks, you will come out far, far ahead, even if you're not a long-term winner.